Hello friends, welcome to CEC Gurukul Lectures. Dear friends, today we are discussing on how to build a resume, as we always emphasize on how to build yourself, how to build your personalities, and your resume talks about you. Thus, we believe that we should discuss with you that how to create a wonderful resume so that you are most talked about and your personality appears to be the most outstanding one. Dear friends, for this discussion, we have with us one of the most eminent speakers, career counselor, Mr. Bharat Bharadwaj. I would like to welcome our guest, Mr. Bharat Bharadwaj. Hello, sir. Welcome
Thank
to the
you.
lecture.
Thank you so much again. So, for the benefit of audience who have joined late, I would like to repeat certain things. Like you asked, what should be the generic elements which are required. So, one is your personal information, which is contact information, name, email ID, mobile phone number, your address, etc. Second is your career objective. Third is your education background. Fourth is your experience, if you have any. Fifth one is your skills, what you got, what you acquired through soft skills or hard skills, certifications, other courses than the academics we have done. Then sixth one is your extracurricular activities. Seventh one is your achievements and awards. And lastly, I would say that you should also give some references. And you should write, if you do not want to disclose the name, you should references are available on request. So these are the basic elements which are required. This is the format which we prefer, so that easily we can relate with the candidate and whether he is suitability for that particular role. And how to make your resume stand out of the crowd. So for that, like we suggested, you have to follow certain principles, which is top loaded and front loaded. Means on the paper, when it is a 4-quadrant, if you see, like if this is A4 size sheet, so your left side and top side has to be, the most important information should come here. Second is the emphasis of that what kind of words and verbs you are using. For example, you should to reflect that, you should use to create impact powerful actionable verbs. For example, instead of led, you should write spearheaded. Instead of managed, you can say I acquired or I awarded, or those kind of impactful words. So then the names and numbers should be in bold. Your most important achievements has to have some names and numbers. For example, you have done some Microsoft course from IIM Bangalore, or maybe so those impactful institutes, if you have studied from a school which is top ranked, you should reflect and put that name in bold. Similarly, your experience should have impact, what numbers you have worked for how many years, and what was the number of your team members, what achievements you have done in numbers. Let's say you have given 150% growth over a couple of years. So that should reflect what achievements you have, like say 7.5 million users you have acquired by doing that particular social media activity. So those are the numbers which has to be put in place. So two things, numbers and names are very, very important. Then comes your creativity. How do you are planning to put that in, and you should take help from softwares or some human friends or your seniors or your teachers to create that impact. And you should not leave any blank spaces on the paper. The size of resume has to be ideally 1 to 2 pages maximum. So this should give you the basic idea how we should go about it. And then it's reflection and other things which we have talked about. Yes, ma'am.
Definitely, sir. So we believe that our students would be curious enough to ask questions from you. So friends, if you have any question, you can contact us. You can call us through our toll-free number. Our number is 1-800-110-430. I repeat, our number is 1-800-110-430. Friends, you are requested to call us, and your calls should be related to the topic only, that is how to build a resume. If you have any question, do ask us right now, because Mr. Bharat Bharadwaj is ready to answer each and every question of yours. Now, sir, when we are talking about career, resume writing, how important it becomes for any individual to build a professional relationships online, because we have seen this is a digital world.
Yes,
People have
that is very
profiles.
important. It's a wonderful aspect you have touched. I was about to tell that in this digital age, when the world is moving from paper and pen to pen and paper to digitalized kind of environment, and we are also saying that our mission is Digital India. Our government is giving a lot of emphasis on that. And today it is very important that your online presence has to be very, very visible. And especially in the professional environment, we have the websites like LinkedIn. A LinkedIn portal, your presence has to be there if you want to be, found by the recruiters. And on that also there are very important kind of testimonials which you can get it from your seniors, from your colleagues, from your ex colleagues, your ex bosses, for which who are able to give you favorable comments. So those testimonials also play a very important role. If you are there on any social media like Facebook or Insta, be very, very cautious about writing very casual mails, or kind of some people use some different kind of pictures which are not palatable by the corporate world. So you should mind that also. It's a word of caution that remove all the bad kind of stuff from your social media if you are using Facebook or Insta or anywhere else. Similarly, your Twitter is also very important. But I would give emphasis, the first and foremost, LinkedIn has to be there in your profile should be there on LinkedIn.
So we should handle our social platforms very carefully, so
Yes.
that we are talked in a right manner, and our personality comes out to be the most pleasing one.
Right.
So sometimes it is not required to face the interview board. You are asked to send your resumes.
Yes.
How important cover letter becomes there? You have made an impressive resume,
Right.
but your cover letter, it talks a lot. So how important it is, sir?
It has equal weightage. Rather, I would say it is a icebreaker. Once you are trying to communicate someone without being there, so that should reflect that what you want and what you will be contributing. So those two or three small paragraphs of 2 to 3 liner each has to be written in such a way that it is customized for that particular company, for that particular role which you are being hired, and it should reflect what would be your contribution, why you are the most ideal candidate, most suitable candidate for that particular position. So if you're able to write that in that 100 words, you made your at least first journey successful.
Very true. Very true, sir. Because as we are discussing that how resumes, that is the most effective one can be produced, and the way they are presented makes a difference, of course. Now, what are the other elements? Do you believe that when we apply somewhere, or when we are there to face an interview board, many a times we are asked, you are required to put a passport size photograph. What role does this photograph makes?
So most of the companies are not now asking for any photograph in the first go, but it should be there in your, and you should be able to give because resume has to be very concise and very specific. You cannot describe everything in your resume of 1.5 page or 2 pages. So if you are having good experience and your certification and other things are good, more than what is can be written on 2 page document, you should give always link of your LinkedIn profile, or you should have your own website where your profiling is done in the right way. So if you are able to give, if recruiters are interested, if you make them interested by giving those links, mentioning in the resume, so they can go and search online about you. So for your website and LinkedIn should carry your most recent photographs. So it is not right now required with resume, because generally it is a white and black kind of document. We do not prefer that you should send your document in a color format. It should be in black and white and on a white paper. So that is ideal, and photograph should be there, a good looking photograph a professional photograph on your website, if you have any, if you are sharing any, or and your LinkedIn profile.
So an impressive profile also makes a difference. It adds on to your resume
Yes.
that whatever you are talking about,
Yes.
whatever you have been saying about you is appropriately correct. It is absolutely
That's right.
correct. So many more things about us comes when we talk about our resume, because sometimes the recruiter is interested in knowing us deeply, and sometimes this personal information of ours, for example our parents, our sisters, siblings, they also become important. Should we give a place to that also in our resumes?
Right now, the younger generation is becoming more and more private. They don't want to discuss their family, so it is okay. So recruiters do realize this, that this is a very, very sensitive thing now. So maybe it's optional. So we do not put any pressure on the candidate that it should, but in interviews definitely it is asked. Sometimes depending on the role and the requirement. One of the questions can be, tell us about your family. And but I have seen personally while interviewing, there is a lot of inhibition in the youngsters because they want to be seen independently of their family.
Very true. So, if we talk about this particular session, we have talked a lot about how to build a resume, especially for those who have already done their courses, already those who are running into the market to find a job. Now, if we talk about those students, those who are just passed out from school and with any reason now they are forced to do a job or they are likely to make money, for them, what is the basic resume? What is the basic kind of resume they can think about?
See, and the basic elements will remain same. Only thing they can say that I want to do internship because of certain reasons. So they can give those reasons. They can, and they has to be. I think honesty is the best policy, like we have read in our school books earlier. So if they are honest in writing the reason why they are, and it's okay. See, because not everybody coming from a well-off family. There can be challenges, personal challenges in the family. So it is okay to work at the legal age of 18. If they are not able to go for the senior education, then they can apply for certain jobs with whom company is looking forward to, and they should be very upfront in writing those, that these are the reasons I am looking for a job and I want to continue. And I also suggest them that they should pursue certain skills side by side, or some certifications wherever possible, and if possible they can also do their graduation from open schools.
So there are chronology of events happening into our life regarding our qualifications, our educational qualification, our work experience. Sometimes
Right.
it happens with someone that a break has come. Should person mention that particular thing in the resume or not? Because sometimes when we see the chronology, we check the chronology. In this year, the student has passed out. In this year, he has done this course. So does recruiter talks about why there was a gap, why there is a
If
gap?
other parameters are matching with the role required, so I don't think that break should create any problem. But the candidate should be able to justify why the break was there. So if you have a solid and valid reason and you are able to convince the recruiter and that this is the basic reason and be honest about that, so breaks can happen. It could be that as a many ladies take break for upbringing their kids. Maybe they can, until as they start going to school. So they may take break for. So they have a valid reason. Sometimes you marry and you shift to some other city. So then there can be break. So these are very genuine and honest breaks. So it doesn't matter in your career journey. Until means you should be able to justify why you have taken that.
Definitely, one should be accountable to what he's been or she's been quoting in the resume. So, friends, if you have any question, you may talk to us. You may call us through our toll-free number. Our number is 1-800-110-430. I repeat, our number is 1-800-110-430. We are waiting for your calls, as Mr. Bharadwaj is with us and he is ready to give answers to your questions and solve your queries. So, how important it is to have a proper alignment, because many times we have seen the entire content of a resume is haphazard manner.
Yes.
And it becomes very difficult to read out. And sometimes it might happen that a recruiter may get it off.
Yeah, see, it reflects on your personality. it reflects on your mind. If you are writing a very clear, concise, and aligned, the format has to be visually pleasing. And if it is a clutter kind of like you have written some paragraph on the left side and some of the text on the right side, so that becomes quite a clutter and it doesn't reflect a good quality of the candidature, because you have to appear as a very serious and sincere candidate through your just one single page of paper. You should be able to grab the attention on a positive manner. You should have positive impact on the recruiter mind, so that you are shortlisted. And for this, like I suggested, the formats, it has to be in a simple format with one font of different sizes could be used. Maybe you can use bold of the same family, bold font of the same family, but it has to be one and end to end written, so that there is no blank spaces visible, or if it has to be, it has to be paragraph only, and equal weightage to all the elements which we have discussed.
It is also seen sometimes that there are a number of candidates for a particular position, and the recruiter doesn't have time to go through all the resumes. Now, how important it becomes for a recruiter or for an individual who is facing the board, interview board to have the key points or in the resume. Does the key points or the keywords makes a difference there?
Yeah, that's what I said. If you are those keywords has to be actionable power verbs. If you are able to put that, so same candidature, same facts, but you are changing the impact. With using those powerful words of verb, you can change the entire perception about your resume. So that has in subconscious mind, it creates that impact on the mind of recruiter and they shortlist your resume.
Very true, sir, because the recruiter has to select the best one out of the many.
Yes.
Now, making long sentences, writing long sentences, does it kills the beauty of the resume?
Yeah, I suggest that like we have, every bullet point has to be one single sentence. Whatever you want to communicate, put it the same line. One point has to be in one line. So not more than that. Otherwise, it will create again haphazardness on the spaces will be more. So blank spaces does not create good impression.
Extremely beautifying a resume. Does it also kills the beauty? Sometimes we have a tendency of making it beautiful, making lots of, I would say, the headers, notes, and then making lots of tables.
Like I said, it has to be 1 to 2 pager, and format has to be as simple as possible. Bullets are acceptable, tables are acceptable, not too much of heavy of designing and other things. That does not create good impression.
Sometimes a student or anyone who has a habit of doing lots of things and is reluctant to add in his or her resume about her hobbies, maybe the basic one. Does one should include those hobbies?
Yes,
of
you
his
can
or her?
at the end of when you are writing about as your personality. So you can mention that, like if you want to mention about your family, that is okay. If you want to mention about your voluntary work, that adds value. If you have certain hobbies, that is also suggesting that you are a complete person, that you have, other than your work and academics, you have certain hobbies as well, which is encouraged.
Definitely. So, friends, we are requesting you again that if you have a question of any kind related to the topic, please feel free to talk to us through our toll-free number. Our number is 1-800-110-430. This is the number through which you can contact us. You can ask questions. Mr. Bharat Bharadwaj is with us to answer your queries on how to build a resume. So we are talking more and more about resume because, as I already said, that it is the basic document which talks about you. Your documents are later on verified whether you have completed a particular course or your academic achievement is there or not, what you have been talking in the resume. So, sir, again and again we are coming to the same point that what to take care when we build a resume? Because although you have discussed it in detail, but is there any point you feel so that it is to be taken care of, it is to be there in the resume while building it?
Yeah, basic points again. I will like to say that uh, it has to be in black and white on a white paper, top loaded, front loaded. The font family has to be very simple, which is common. You can use bold fonts at some certain places. The sequence has to be contact information, your education, qualification, then your experience, your skills other than whatever you achieved in academics, then your work experience with your achievements and awards, if any, then you should put that. What is your voluntary work, your references and testimonials, links of your website or LinkedIn if possible. So those are the things, basic elements which we are suggesting, and objective has to be very very clear. Like I said, it has to be after contact information, it has to be your objective, which is catching the eye of the recruiter. So it has to come from heart, and it has to align with the. It has to be customized with the kind of candidature and the role which is required by the company. So if you are able to make that, you are through.
Very true, sir. We discussed in detail about the formatting of a resume, how important it is to leave margins from all the sides.
Yeah, basically margins for both the sides, like A4, you have normal margins, so that if somebody has to file and they has to take a print and file it, so it should have a sufficient margin on the left side so that it is punched and filed.
Though we have a habit of writing from right to left, but sometimes we have seen the student is confused. The content is all in the middle of the letter, the A4 size.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yeah, that should not be there. So it has to be end to end and equal spacing from all the four sides.
And justifying the content is also
Yes.
important.
Very important.
Because many times we see a resume, there is a line, then there is a very big break, and then the line starts.
Yeah.
How many number of times we should go through our resume? Because once it is presented, it is presented. So what do you say?
So before sending it, you should show it to at least 5-6 people. Get it proofreaded. Maybe you can check the soft copy on a software where to correct the grammatical errors or any spellings. So there are softwares available free also online. You can use that, or maybe you can go to your teacher, or you can speak to your seniors or maybe some family members who are well educated and experienced. Get it proofread, get it done, and maybe before rolling it out, you can check it again at least 3 times.
So with the passage of time, there is lot about us to be written there, because with the passage of time we have lots and lots of experience. But when we are talking about 2 pages, how difficult it is to justify and to think of or to chop off the content, chop off the things while writing a resume, because everything can't be there on a resume every time.
Like we have been taught how to write précis. So similarly, we need to shortcut and we need to be very concise. If it is a very long kind of description, convert those into one single sentences. For example, you participated in a youth festival, you went to Guwahati, you went to some place and participated in a theatre activity, you won one first award. So instead of writing the entire story, just write awarded first prize in youth festival this session Guwahati, so that its entire thing is concised in one single sentence.
So when we talk about the 2 pages resume, does it works for each one of us, whether he or she is a fresher or I would say, a person who has achieved a lot, or one who is on the verge of
for fresher, 1 pager is also okay. Like if they are able to contain the entire information and all the 6 or 7 the elements, which is comfortably we can place in A4 size. Use a 11 font or 10 font of Helvetica or Arial or Calibri, which can be used suitably. It fits into 1 A pager. So fresher need not worry about 2 pagers. They can give their resume in 1 page as well.
What if the content goes beyond 2 pages?
They need to cut it.
That is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, they need to shorten it, and otherwise it becomes very heavy and people see like they are trying to express. So you should keep something for the interview also.
The interview also to ask,
Yeah.
tell about you what is not there in the resume, because the recruiter knows well,
Yes.
he is a psychologist, he can read your mind, whatever written by you is right or not, and he could find a link between whatever you have written from the beginning of, from the school to the college, and then
Yes.
where you have gone. So, what are because we are short of time over here now, and we are going to wind this session. So, at last, what would you like to suggest all the students who are studying, or those who are now into the market searching for the jobs, or those who are thinking to switch the jobs?
Like I said, it is very important to create a good foundation. So you should reflect in your resume that you are a continuous learner. So participate and get enrolled in various online courses. You'll find on Digital Garage, Google Digital Garage is there. They have 160 courses free of charge. Similarly, there are other courses like Coursera and other websites where you can create and find kind of certificates which will be adding value to your resume, which are aligning with your career goals. So I always suggest, have a hunger for continuous learning, keep building your profile, keep building on your soft skills, which is communication skills, interpersonal skills, your stress management, your team management as a leadership role. So do some workshops, participate in those, and keep building those activities. Because academic degree can get you an entry ticket, but the way you can grow inside the corporation or any role is directly proportional to your personality. And personality is nothing but these all things: positive attitude, your communication skills, interpersonal skills, team management, stress management, your emotional intelligence. So work on these.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving us this wonderful session where we discussed in detail about how to build a resume. And we believe that all the students who might have watched us or would be watching us through YouTube, as we are going to upload this lecture on YouTube soon, and the student can watch us. Dear friends, we believe that you have been benefited from this very lecture, and we would say keep watching us, keep giving your inputs to us, and yes, you can become a part of our sessions. You can ask questions in our session. Next Thursday we are going to meet again and would be talking on another topic related to the career. So keep watching us. Thank you.